Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video we are going to cover the iterators and generators. So iterators are the objects that allow iteration over a collection of elements. Now what does it do? That it uh, provides us a way to access the elements sequentially one at a time, and it implements the iter method and the next method, and these methods can be accessed using the loops or the next function. So first I'll show you the iter method and next method. So iterator basically implements these two methods, and they are used by using the for loop or the next functions. So we'll see that how does it works. So iterators basically iterates the iterables. So in Python, the iterables are lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, and strings are also iterables. So we'll see that how it's iterates over the iterables. So first we'll take a tuple, then we'll give some elements, and then what we'll do, we will create another variable. So suppose we are creating, and then using the iter function, what we'll do, we'll just put the x inside the iter, so the iter of x, and then we are going to print using the next function our iter, and when we'll print it, we'll see that 1 has been printed. So you remember the definition I have told you, that it sequence one at a time. So I have given one time, I have used this print function one time, so it is printing 1. Now I'll use 2 times, so it will print these 2. Now I'll again give it 3 to 4 times. Now you'll see it is printing till 4. So 1 at a time. So whenever you will call it once, it will only print the first value, means the first element. Then it will print this twice, it will print till 2 elements. You will call it thrice, it will print till 3 elements. You will call it 4 times, it will print 4 elements from the starting. So I hope you understand. Now we can print it using the loops also. So we'll just simply do that for values in itr, and we'll just simply print values, and you'll see it is printed. Now we can take strings also. So suppose we are taking Python coding, so you will see Python coding has been printed. And now we can print using the next function also. Suppose we don't want all the elements of this Python coding at once, we want one at a time. So for that we'll just give here, use the next function, then you will see p is printed. Now if you want to print till the o, so we have to give it 5 times, so it will print till o. So this was the iterator. Now what we can do, we can create our own iterator also by creating a class, and inside the class we'll use we'll use the iter method and the next method. So how we can create it, our own iterator? So for that, first we'll take class numbers, and then we'll define the function, that is iter. Then we have to give self here, and now when we'll initialize self.a to 1, then we are going to return the self. Okay. Now again we are going to define the next function, then we'll give the parameter self, and now in a variable x, we are going to initialize the value of self.a, and then we are going to increment self.a with 1, and then we'll return the x. And now we'll create the object for our class. Now we'll use the iter function. So first we'll create a variable, and then we'll use the iter function for making this our obj, means our class, the iterable, and then we'll simply print. If we print one at a time, so we'll print using the next, and then we'll give the name, that is itr, and when we'll print it, you'll see 1 is printing. And now if I print it 5 times, so it will print till 5. So I hope you have understand the iterators. Now we'll see the generators. So what are generators? So generators are special iterators that allow you to generate a sequence of values on the fly. Now what does this on the fly means? When you are seeing iterators, it iterates a sequence. Now this time in generators, the sequence is not stored on the memory. It is on the fly. Means if we have to work on large data sets, so we want to access one value at one time. So we don't want to execute all the data sets at once. We want to execute or use it one at a time. So for that we can use generators. And for using the generators, we have to use the yield statements instead of return statement. So we'll see the difference between the return and the yield statement. So for that, we have to create a function here. And suppose I want to create a generator, so I'll give gene, and then using a colon. Now we are going to yield 1. Then we are going to yield. So first we'll yield 1, and then we'll store this gen, and then we are going to print using the next function our x. So when we'll print it, we'll see 1 is printed. Now when we'll yield here 2, or suppose we'll yield multiple numbers, so 2, 3, then 4, then 5, and here we'll give it 5 times. So when we'll print, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each time we are using the next function, next function of x. So this yield is each time getting printed. Means first time this yield will get printed, second time the yield 2, then yield 3. So it is also same as the return statement. But what happens in the return statement, that it not iterates. Now, and this is getting iterating. Now we can iterate it using the for loop also. So instead of writing this, we can write for, suppose for I in x. So suppose for I in x, do what? Print I, and when we'll print it, you'll see again it's getting printed using loops also. Now we'll see another example using while loop. First we have to erase all this. And suppose we want to print up to a number. So we'll take a parameter n. Now we'll initialize the value of, we are taking a variable I, and we are initializing its value to 0. Then what we'll do, we'll use the while loop, and then we'll say while I is smaller than equal to n. So do what? So simply yield I. Okay. And then we'll do the incrementation, that is I plus equal to 1. Each time the value of I will get increased by 1. Then here our function has been finished. Now we'll call it. So for count up to, we have created a variable for calling our function inside it, and then we'll give the number here. Suppose we want to print till 6. Okay. Now using the for loop we can print it. So for num in, and what is the name, count up to, and then we have to give the colon, and then we'll print num, and when we'll print it, it will be print till 6. As you can see, from 0 it is printing till 6. So in this way, now we if you want to print each value at one time, so what we can do, we can use the next method, and then we can give count up to once, so it will print 0. Now if we give 4 times, it will print till 3. So this was the generator, and the difference between, and when we'll give a return, so what will happen, so you can see it terminates the line here only, so the incrementation will not be performed and it will throw an error. So return does that, return also returns, and yield also return, but returns terminate the line, and then after that return statement, nothing will be executed, and when we use yield, it returns also and it does not terminate the line. So thanks for watching the video.